Hello, how are you doing today? Welcome to Embracing Change, our little series about how we can make changes to have a happier, fuller life. And today we are doing part 2 of YBU, which is short for YWHYBBEUYOU. My name is Reverend Alicia Leslie. I am from Spirit of Unity, which is a non-denominational, metaphysical faith group. And so I'm so happy you're here. And I hope you stick around. You might get some good ideas while you're here. I am also on YouTube. I'm going to take this video and upload it to YouTube. You can always go there and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any. And I think that was everything. Of course, like the video. That helps. And always feel free. If you like what you see, share it with somebody else. That's what this is all about. All right. We're going to start out, as we do with every one of our little visits, with a look at the National Day Calendar. Now, why do I do this National Day Calendar thing? Well, for one thing, it's fun, and it gives a little uplift to our lives. It's something to probably take our mind off a lot of the stuff that we hear in the news, stuff that, might disturb us. And and it's just plain fun. So right now, today is National Chocolate Cake Day. And I am proud to say that I did have a piece of chocolate cake today. It was that big. And I had to have a little piece because I had a piece this big of a lemon bar. I love my chocolate, but boy, you put a lemon bar in front of me and I'm a goner. Now, I don't mean to be arrogant, but I will tell you, I like mine better. There's something about when you make something with lemon that you make it fresh, because when you have lemon stuff with packaged, it just it's not the same. I see that I'm getting a glare on my glasses from my light. If you give me a second, I'm just going to run and move it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that should make it go away. And it did not. I just have to keep my head tilted down a little bit. And I welcome everybody that's here today. And so we were talking, as you know, about YBU. Well, there's no one better to be than you, because you are a unique, individualized expression of God, of spirit, of life itself. And if you're trying to be like somebody else, you're not being you. Wow. Can you imagine if you got a piano and instead of using it as a piano, you cut the legs off of it and made it into a coffee table? What a waste. Our lives are beautiful and wonderful, and we don't want to waste them, do we? You know what? I got so excited about those lemon bars, I forgot about the other thing for today about National Day Calendar, because this one it really touched my heart. And today is National Cowboy Poetry Day. Now that seems like something that would never go together. But there's National Poetry Association, Cowboy Poetry Association. And if you have a pen or pencil, you're going to want to write this down. You write down discoverpoetry.com/poems/cowboy-poems. And I'm going to read one to you which will really show you why you're going to want to look up that site. This is called a prairie song. Oh, music springs under the galloping hooves out on the plains, where mile after mile drops behind with a smile, and tomorrow seems always to tempt and beguile out on the plains. I don't know if you've ever traveled through the plains, because I know I've got people that watch my videos that are in all different places around the world. But when I went on that cross-country trip, actually I've been cross-country a number of times. My sister and her husband took me to Rushmore. They took me to the Grand Canyon a number of years ago. And when you go through those plains, something stirs in your soul. Even looking at the vastness of of course, Grand Canyon, Canyon de Chelly, the petrified forest, and you know what? I can't remember the name of it, but it's like, dang nabbit, I wish I could remember it. It's just miles and miles and miles and miles and nothing but like gray rubble, and I can't remember what that was. But I think that part of us that's all connected, it goes beyond time and space as we know it. It's like being engaged with eternity. I remember my mom telling me a story one time about when they went to Death Valley, and there was a little ghost town there, and she said that it had like a little excuse me one second. It had like a little stage, like a little pub, I don't know, saloon, and she got up on the stage. My mother was like, she was right out there, and she of course was walking around on the stage with her favorite song, which was from Annie, Get Your Gun. And so she's quick on the trigger, you know, and she's marching. But she said, you know, when I was in there, I could feel the people for so long that got up and sang and danced on that stage. And so go to the Discover Poetry / cowboy poetry, or you can just probably Google cowboy poetry and it'll come right up. They are beautiful, they are soulful, and they connect us with an eternity. There are still cowboys, believe it or not, there are still cowboys. Their lives have changed, their jobs have changed a lot. But, okay, I'm going to tell you a joke. I'm going to tell you a joke about the plains, okay, and about cowboys, and what we call an Indian, what we called back then a Native American, whatever, indigenous person. So one day, the Lone Ranger and his friend, his lifetime friend, oh Lord, how could I forget it? He called him Tonto. How could I forget Tonto? So the Lone Ranger and Tonto are out on the plains, and they're laying down at night and they're going to sleep, and Tonto says, "Kimosabi." That's what he called the Lone Ranger. "Kimosabi." And so the Lone Ranger said, "What? I'm trying to sleep." Tonto says, "Kimosabi, look up. What do you see?" And he said, "I see a sky full of beautiful stars. It is amazing." Tonto says, "No, Kimosabi, you see stars because somebody took our tent." I thought that was funny. All right, so let's get back to our today YBU. Why are you not you? Are you afraid you are not enough? Because I have to tell you, you are enough and you're more than enough. But you're really enough and more than enough only when you're being your real authentic self. There is what we call personality and individuality. This comes from, I learned this when I studied astrology. And if you look at the glyphs, which are the signs, the symbols for the different planets and everything, and you will see that the glyph for the sun is a circle with a dot in the middle. And the symbol, the glyph, for the moon looks like a crescent moon. And it looks like a crescent moon because, as you know, the phases of the moon are the effect of the reflection of the sun on the moon, and then the Earth's passing through as everything moves around. The shadow moves across the moon, which doesn't have any light of its own. So this is how this fits. Individuality is who we are. YBU. It's the you want to be. And the moon represents our personality, our persona. It is called a mask we put on that we wear. It's what we look at the world kind of through. And very often we get so focused on our personality that we leave out our individuality. Now, personality, everybody wants to have a good personality, right? That means people are going to like you, that you're fun and you're good and you're wonderful and you're beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. But that's just a reflection of the real you. And you have to know what is making that reflection. We know that it's not the earth that makes the reflection, because when the earth crosses the path between the sun and the moon, it gets dark, okay? And so, what am I trying to say? If we get too involved in mundane, everyday things, in self, in ego, in money, in power, in all the stuff of lower consciousness, our personality, if we make being important, powerful, whatever, in the material world, we're missing out on all the power we have to be even more. Another thing about YBU, if you're not being yourself, everything oh God, Tishy's crying in the other room. You know how she demands her attention. Anyway, if you're not being yourself, you're not being real. So that means if you're not being yourself, you're not being your real, authentic self, your relationships are not real, your profession is not real, your finances are not real, nothing is real because you're not being real. I'm not going to go off into my stories tonight like I did last night, my stars. But being a little person, 4'10", probably shrinking, but that's one of my favorite lines in the movie Parenthood. The young man, the grandson, says to the grandmother, "Grandma, you've gotten so short." She looks up and she goes, "I'm shrinking." I guess we're all shrinking. But anyway, God, how do I get off track so easily? Well, I got up there. Let's see, where was I? Nothing is real until you are. I don't know. So I just got off on that line. I'm just going to jump ahead and the train will come back to the station and I'll get back to that. You don't want to be an imitation of all that you are. I was saying everything's not real. Your relationships are not real. If you feel you have to be somebody different in your marriage or at work or anything else, you're not being authentically you. You're not being everything you were born to be. Now, that doesn't mean if all of a sudden you decide I've got to be me and my relationship is not working because I have to be something different to be in this relationship. No, what you do is you work out the relationship where you can be you and still have a healthy relationship. As a minister, I've married many people. And when I marry people, I tell them, the success of the marriage is not the romance, rainbows, and roses. It is the ability to get through the tough parts. Oh, I see. I knew that train would come back to the station. As a little person, I always felt like I was not enough. Have you ever felt like you were not enough? What was it about you that you thought made you not enough? Was it your weight? Was it your height? Was it the clothes you wore? Was it your grades in school? You have to remember Einstein failed math. I'm just saying. You are amazing. So let's just start right there. So up until this point, you didn't feel like you were enough. I'm calling you out right now. You are enough. So YBU, because you are enough, and somebody's got to be you. A lot of times we're afraid of rejection. And I was so glad somewhere along the line I really got the saying, if they mind, they don't matter. If they matter, they don't mind. If there's anyone in your life that kind of validates your thoughts that you are not enough, learn how to deal with that, because you are enough, and it's time for you to be you. So one of the reasons we're here is to express this gift that we've been given, the skills and talents to create, to co-create a world that works for all. That's one of our goals here. Remember when Adam and Eve got booted out of paradise? They just wanted to take what they didn't earn. This is where we're earning our way back to paradise. And what is paradise? Paradise is a place of consciousness, a place of being, where there is peace, there is harmony, there is prosperity, there is wholeness, there is healing. And we have the potential for that inside of ourselves. Remember, Jesus said the kingdom is within you. Buddha talked about the oneness with all, okay? Now, and forgive me on this one, I seem to can't remember who it was that said, Shakespeare, to thine own self be true. When you're not being you, you're not being true to yourself. What is it that you don't feel okay to be? Maybe you feel like you're not ready yet. A motivational speaker called Kevin Nation said, winners take imperfect action, while losers are perfecting their plan. Have you been perfecting some kind of plan, making sure every I is dotted and T is crossed before you have the courage to step out? It's not going to get you where you want to be. Can you imagine if a baby sat there and tried to figure out how to walk in his head? No. A baby looks around and sees other people. They're walking around on their legs, looks down. I got legs. Next thing you know, he's climbing up and walking off. Now, that brought something to mind that I want to make sure you are aware of. This does not matter how old you are, okay? Whatever age. I think Grandma Moses started painting when she was 80, you know? So it's not too old. I want to tell you about my dogs when I was a little girl. We had a dog. We had him for many, many years. His name was Rookie. And we had him for at least 13 years. Well, maybe 12, 11. It doesn't matter. A long time. And then we got a little dog named Scuffy. Well, by that time, Rookie was a pretty pretty elderly dog. And I gave a lot of attention to teaching Scuffy tricks to get treats. And the thing is, he liked doing the tricks more than he cared about the treats. So he'd do a trick, get a treat, go run and dump it somewhere and come back and do another trick and get another treat. Well, one of the first tricks that, of course, I taught him was sit up. And one night we were sitting at the dinner table. I know you shouldn't do this. Okay. I know you shouldn't do this. We were giving them table scraps. So I held up, I don't know, a piece of chicken or something, no bones. And I said, Scuffy, sit. And Scuffy sat up, proud as he could be. And Rookie sat up right next to him. Rookie'd never been taught any tricks, but he learned it on his own. He said, well, look what that guy's doing. He's getting tricks. I can get tricks. So it doesn't matter how old you are. You're still plenty young to be you. And here's good news. As you are ready to be you, YBU, as you're ready to be you will be able to apply all the life's lessons that you've picked up, especially those times when you wanted to be you, but you didn't feel confident in being you. But that is life experience. That's the school of life, the school of experience, sometimes called the school of hard knocks. But you learned it. When I was younger, remember we talked about, why are you afraid to be you, and I asked you, why are you afraid to be you? What is it that bothers you? Well, most of my life, I thought I was weird. I didn't fit in. I was different. I didn't fit in. And I tried so hard. Imagine taking a puzzle, okay? And you got this puzzle piece, and it doesn't really fit, but you keep trying to push it in and make it work, and it would be, if the puzzle piece could have pain, it would be pain, and probably be getting broken and everything. It just doesn't go there. Well, I ran after the wrong friends. I tried to be something that I thought would be good enough for them. Meanwhile, I was always good enough. That's when I knew I was not weird. I was unique. So if you are afraid that you are weird, I invite you to let go of that and to know you are not weird. You are unique. You are amazing. Someone posted this week some frost that was on their car and all the amazing patterns. And I looked at that, and each one was unique, every snowflake unique. That's the way we are. Don't you feel bad anybody tries calling you a snowflake. Because you are unique, and you are wonderful and intelligent, and you are more than good enough. And you need to be you. Why? The world needs you. They need the gift that you have to give. You can't try to be, I couldn't try to be Joyce Meyer. There was, I can look at her and she's preaching to 50,000 people and I'm like, I want to do that. But God gave me this. And I'm unlimited and I'm giving it in love. And if I reach even one person, I'm doing it. Writing my books, writing my campfire stories. When people come to the campground and I visit their campsite and I give them a story, I read a ghost story for them, a campfire story, whatever you want to call it, they are getting something I don't know that any other campground on the planet has a storyteller. But that's what I do. I go around the campfires and tell stories. And I know that I gave them something special to take home. Sometimes people try to tip me for it. Or sometimes they say no because I think they they think that I'm expecting a tip. And I just say, no. I said, if you give me something, you take away that I gave you a gift. My story is my gift to you. Now, could I use money? You betcha. I could use plenty of money. But I believe, and sometimes they insist, and I'm not going to, make them feel bad. All right, I'll take it. And then I'm, but I don't give the stories expecting something in return. God will repay me. I am comfortable. I'm satisfied. I am content. And I hope that you find contentment in your life because you deserve it. And in order to really feel content, what do you have to do? You have to be you. Nobody else can do it but you. No, I couldn't be Joyce Meyer, and I wouldn't want to walk the path that she walked to get where she is, because it was a long and painful and horrific path. And I am so glad she can touch so many lives. Do I agree with her? Not always. But I metaphysically interpret a lot of what she says, and she says some pretty good stuff. So there it is, my friends. I hope I have helped to inspire you with the desire and the courage to be you. And for those of you who I know, because I can see your names coming up, that I know are here watching right now. A lot of people watch after, but for those of you who are here right now and I see your names coming up, I thank you so much, and I love your uniqueness. And I am honored by you taking the time to watch the videos. So I'm off for today. Oh, no. Number one, can we please have some prayer here in the Northeast? Cheryl, I know you're out there in California, and you got your own worries out there, I'm sure, with the weather, but we're expecting a pretty bad storm. You may or may not hear from me tomorrow. I called my sister today, and I said, hello, I'd like to make a reservation for Chateau Bergeron for tomorrow night. Because tomorrow night, the storm may come rolling in. So Tishy and I will probably, unless they say the storm's going elsewhere, Tishy and I will probably be going over to my sister and her husband's house. Why? They have a generator that'll take care of the whole house. So it'll be a good chance to stay warm and everything. So thank you. Thank you all for your prayers. And now I am off, and you have a bright, beautiful, better than average day, and God bless you good. Bye-bye.